So a story comes to mind. It's again from the time of the Buddha. So Buddha and one of his close disciples, Ananda, are walking together. And they are passing through the village. So the villager who's coming to drop them, see them off, is walking behind them. Yeah? So the Buddha in the front, Ananda behind him, a few feet behind is the villager. So as they are walking, Buddha suddenly tells Ananda, Ananda, watch out for the poisonous snake. And Ananda replies, Buddha, Master, I have seen it. Don't worry, it will not bite me. So they keep walking. The villager hears this conversation. Watch out for the poisonous snake, and Master, I have seen it, it won't bite me. So he starts looking around, where's the snake? Because in villages, there's plenty of snakes around. He sees there's no snake. But then he sees a lump of metal there somewhere on the side. And it seems that the last rains have washed away the dirt on top, and this lump of metal is shining through. He realizes it's a lump of gold. So what did the Master talk about the poisonous snake? This is a lump of gold. The Master must not have seen this. The snake must have diverted him. But the Master is walking ahead, so he walks behind the Master. Goes ahead. But from that moment on, you see, they walk away from that lump of gold. From that moment on, that lump of gold is living in the villager's head. Even when he is going to drop Buddha to the outskirts of the village, he is thinking of that lump of gold. He can't let it go. He can't let it go. So he is wondering, will it be there when I get back? That's my fortune for dropping the Master. You see, that's my fortune. I saw that lump of gold. Now I must go back and quickly get it. Will somebody else get it or not? He can't let it out of his head. So his focus is not on Buddha and Ananda and taking care of them and dropping them. His focus now in his mind is on the lump of gold. So he goes there to the outskirts. He sees the Buddha off and he rushes back to that lump of gold. He digs it out, and sure enough, it is a lump of gold. Sure enough. What a great treasure I have got. He takes it home. He shows it to his wife, he shows it to his family. Everybody is thrilled. We are rich, we are rich. So his lifestyle changes. His lifestyle changes. He suddenly becomes wealthy, right? Like he's won the lottery. His lifestyle becomes very extravagant, very indulgent, very opulent. Everybody around knows he's found a great treasure. So much so that he comes to the notice of the local authorities. They come to investigate. Where's all this wealth come from? The story gets out. He found the lump of gold. He took it. He's using it. He's very rich. The local authorities report up. So they report to the king's, the king's authorities. The king finally sends some people, calls this guy to court and says, tell me, how did you get this wealth? Master, I found this lump of gold, this happened. All right. The king says, no. If you found it on the land, it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the kingdom, right? Belongs to the treasury. So he puts him in jail, sentences him to death for stealing from the king's treasury. This lump of gold is mine, the king says, to give it to me. So the news goes back to the wife and the son. We have lost our father. We have lost the husband. He is being sentenced to death. This really is the worst thing that happened to us, they say. Finding this lump of gold was the worst thing that happened to us. Right? And this man is now in prison and he is regretting. He is regretting. And in prison he says to himself, he says, now I know the poisonous snake the Master was talking about. It was not a real snake, it was this lump of gold which was lying there. Master saw it, he told Ananda, and Ananda told him, don't worry, it won't bite me. But it bit me. It bit me. I've been suffering from that poison, and now look, it's poisoned not just me, but my wife and my son. It's poisoned everybody in my family. Okay? A day passes. The king calls him back. So the prison guards come to get him, and he's very, very disturbed. Like, now what's happened? Like, is the king going to kill me today? The king calls him back. He says, tell me the whole story. So the whole story is repeated. Now he talks about Buddha, Ananda, dropping them, poisonous snake, this. The king says, I will pardon you. I will pardon you. Why? Because I have realized that you are regretting being bitten. And what I have realized now is I also got bitten when you told me the story. Because at that moment, greed entered my mind that this lump of gold, why should it go to this villager when it has been found in my kingdom, it should come to my treasury. So I will pardon you because you have regretted your greed, and I too have realized that I have been poisoned. Now, story from the time of the Buddha, but one of the causes of our attachment, remember this, is greed. Yeah? More and more and more and more and more. So it causes this constant craving for something. You can't give it up. Constant craving. You need it. You want it. And attachment leads to suffering. So wherever there is greed, in the end you will have suffering. In the end. Initially it feels quite good. More and more and more. And in the end, that poison spreads and it creates suffering.